Good old government, historically a quite heavily tested section, which is good. You'll find that to be good. Very different here. Super different from what you've seen in corporate accounting and even not for profit. However, once you understand how this all works, the fund structure, fund, not fun, it is fun, but the fund structure, think of these funds like bank accounts when you see them, you'll know what I mean when you see them. Once you understand these, free points in the exam. These are easy-ish questions once that you understand how it all works. They don't really go too into depth. It's not mind numbing. You're not going to lose your mind once you're going through these like you do in bonds or leases. You're not going to want to give up and quit. There's just a lot here. It's volume. But I prefer that over these mind numbing, awful sections any day. And I'm going to assume you will as well. Lots to see here. Governmental accounting, measurement, focus, and basis. We're going to see a concept called modified accrual accounting, which is slightly different than accrual accounting. It's just used in one situation. And then economic resources measurement focus, that's the measurement focus. Basically, we're going to see some funds that only use current assets and liabilities. Why? You'll see. We'll dive into that. Then we're going to talk about the assets, liabilities, revenues, and expenses for our governmental units. You might have noticed I excluded equity. And why is that? Well, no one owns a government. I mean, yes, sure, the people own the government. However, there's no equity, just like in non-for-profit, no one owns this entity. So you refer to that as net assets. Assets minus liabilities equals net assets, which is essentially equity. However, there's no equity, there's no ownership here. Lastly, you might have seen this in my overview, but we want to think of these like small towns, municipalities, small cities, definitely not federal government. We're not thinking that. I wouldn't even think of them as states. Think of them as small towns. That's the best way. The questions kind of relate to that in the best format.